If you've ever called yourself lazy or wondered why you can't stay consistent, even though deep down you know you're ambitious and you know that you're meant for more, this video is going to change everything for you. It's not that you're lazy and it's not that you lack motivation. It comes down to three things that most people never learn. And today I'm going to break down exactly what those are and how to fix them. Once I figured these out for myself, it changed everything. I once thought that I was lazy too. I once had a hard time finding the motivation. I always knew deep down that I was meant for more and I wanted to do bigger things. I just couldn't figure out what the secret was to close the gap from where I was to where I wanted to be. Once I figured that out, I went from barely graduating high school to making it to Berkeley. I struggled after college, but ended up closing the gap again. I made it to USC. And then after becoming a therapist, I quit that and started a coaching business. So I know that these work, and I've also taught my clients these. If you're new here, I'm Allie. I'm a self-development and relationship coach, and I put out videos each week on helping you become your best self. If that sounds like something you're interested in, hit subscribe. I would love to see you in my next video. But for now, let's start with the first thing that you need to focus on if you want to create change. The story you tell yourself literally creates your reality. The more you tell yourself that you're lazy, that you can't do something, that you don't follow through on things, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have to stop that immediately. Think about every harsh thought that you have and thing that you tell yourself and how often you do this. Your words shape your behavior. If you tell yourself you're someone who's going to follow through every time you set out to do something, you're going to follow through on that because that's the narrative that you're telling yourself. Compare that to if you tell yourself, I'm lazy, I never follow through, I'm not going to do it. You tell yourself a goal that you're going to set, something that you want to go after, you're not going to follow through on that because you've already given yourself permission to not do it. This is the difference between being able to create the reality that you want and staying stuck in the same pattern of not seeing forward movement. I've seen this so many times with clients. I've seen this for myself. I can't tell you how many times someone will say, I'll try to do this week, or I think I can do this. Try, think, those are all giving yourself the excuse that I can't do it or I'm not going to do it. The language you use matters. If you tell yourself, I'm going to go work out on Tuesday, I'm going to film a YouTube video on Sunday. Sundays are my filming day. By the way, today is Sunday, and I also post videos on Sundays. If you tell yourself you're going to do it and you stick to that plan, the more you do that, the narrative changes. The more you follow through on the things that you say, the more confident you are, the more you believe in yourself, the more you believe you're capable of change. That naturally changes your internal narrative because you now have evidence to back up this new version of yourself. So if you're someone who thinks that you're lazy and you tell yourself you're lazy, that's going to give yourself permission to go lay in bed all day instead of pursuing the things that you want to do. We have to cut that word out of the vocabulary. Lazy no longer exists. We are putting that away, and let's start saying, I'm someone who follows through on the things that I say I'm going to do. Which leads me to the next part. It's not about laziness, it's lack of clarity. When people set huge ambitious goals or they have an idea of where they want to be, but they don't break it down into smaller pieces, the real problem isn't laziness, it's lack of clarity. Think for yourself what goals you tell yourself you're going to do or the changes that you want to see. If you don't have a clear framework of the steps that it takes to get there, what it actually is that you want to work towards, you're going to feel so overwhelmed that of course you're not going to be able to take the steps forward. This is one of the biggest blocks that holds people back, and that's why each week when I meet with clients, we sit down and break down exactly the steps to do that week. Feeling overwhelmed or like you have so much to do and not enough time to do it, or not having clarity on where you want to go, your emotions are going to be all over the place and you're going to feel so overwhelmed you just want to shut down, and that's when you want to hibernate. That's your body and your brain trying to regulate yourself. Like, okay, this feels overwhelming and scary, so I'm going to go just lay in bed or watch TV or scroll on Instagram for hours, because that is your way of checking out and re-regulating. So instead of doing that, get super clear on what small steps it is that you can take instead of trying to create huge changes overnight. I can talk about this in terms of doing YouTube. At the beginning of the year, I told myself that I wanted to start YouTube because I want to branch out and I want to start helping people in other ways. I wrote down a huge list of all of my ideas of the things that I wanted to do, and then I also made a huge list of every step it was going to take to get me there. If you know step by step what to do, it's going to be so much easier. So sit down and think about the goals you have for yourself, what you want to pursue, and then write down every single step that it's going to take to get there. The goal of this isn't to make you feel overwhelmed, like you have so much to do and not enough time to do it. The goal is to really organize each step and then start to put that into your week in a way that's realistic. When you don't write things down, everything takes up so much mental space that you end up feeling so overwhelmed that again, it goes into this thing of like, I don't even know what to get done, so I'm not going to start. Or you start trying to tackle everything at once without a game plan, and then it leaves you in the same place of just feeling stuck and overwhelmed and like change is impossible. The next one is not relying on motivation. Creating systems and having consistency is going to get you so much further than relying on motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. There are times where your energy is going to be higher, where you feel more motivated. And I've talked about this before. I have a whole video on why systems are better than goals. So I'll link that below in case you want to watch that. It's a great follow-up to this. The reason systems work for building goals is because systems create consistency and can also remove the things that get in the way, like bad habits, distractions, and anything that takes you into a place where you're like, oh, I feel like being lazy right now and I don't want to do anything. So think about, what are the things that distract you? Is it your phone? Is it talking to people? Is it social media? Get clear on what it is that you want to do and remove the triggers. Like, put your phone on do not disturb, tell people you're not going to be available, and really prioritize what it is that you want for yourself. And also make sure to set your environment up for success. So you're not waking up that day saying, I know I want to do X, Y, and Z, but this isn't ready, or I have to clean this, or I have to get this space ready. Have your environment ready ahead of time so that that's not one more distraction that's going to get in the way of you being able to pursue the things that you want. There's a really great book that talks about this too, and it's Atomic Habits by James Clear. I can't recommend this enough. I absolutely love this book. It breaks down making small changes over time and how to reach your goals by creating systems and habits that actually work for you. And he also gives the idea of being 1% better every day, because if you do something 1% better in a week, you're 7% ahead of where you were the week before. Definitely recommend checking that book out. The next part is shifting your self-identity. I've said this so many times that how you see yourself, how you talk to yourself, literally shapes your whole world and your reality. So instead of saying, I want to be this, I want to do this, I think I can do X, Y, and Z, tell yourself, I am someone who always follows through on this. I am someone who stays consistent to the things that I say. I'm the kind of person who values and prioritizes my goals. That internal talk and shifting the words that you say to yourself has such a huge impact on what you actually do, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you say it, you become it. It also is setting the stage of giving yourself permission to either not follow through on something, or it's holding yourself accountable to the things that you want to do. I thought for a while before starting this, I was like, I want to start YouTube in January. As soon as I switched the language that I was saying to myself, it changed how I showed up and how I prepared to do this. So think for yourself, what do you tell yourself that you want to do or you think you're going to do, and what language can you switch to tell yourself that you're someone who follows through on this? And this ends up shaping your self-identity, because you see yourself as someone who follows through on the things that are important to you and the things that you set out to do. And as a result, that builds up confidence and changes how you feel about yourself, because you feel so much more proud of yourself, which then makes you want to go and do more of that. So it's a win-win. When it comes to creating change, the people you surround yourself with, the content that you take in is literally everything. They say you become most like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think about where your time and energy is going. And this could be through podcasts you're listening to, people you're hanging out with, friends, family. How uplifting is the conversation? Are you guys talking about goals and dreams and what you're going after? Or is this gossip? Are people negative? Is your energy feeling depleted after you talk to people or listen to certain things? Because who you're around and what you surround yourself with, whether it be in real life or things that you're listening to, music, podcasts, books, this is all going to impact your mood and emotions and shape how you show up in the world and how optimistic or pessimistic you are on being able to reach your goals. And that's also why I say it's important when you set out to do something new that you don't always share it with people right away. Work on it for yourself, and once you're in a place where you feel confident and you have a good foundation, maybe then you share it with other people. Notice who you're surrounding yourself by and how those conversations are going, because if you're around people who are ambitious, who are going after their goals, who are supporting each other in their dreams and encouraging each other to take steps and get out of their comfort zone, this is going to then motivate you so much more to be able to take those steps for yourself, compared to if people are just gossiping and not doing things that better themselves in their lives. So really be mindful of surrounding yourself with people who support growth and who you feel really positive and uplifted around, because that literally changes everything. And if you're like, what's the first step and first thing that I can do? I would just start with even who you follow on social media and who you're listening to. Because if they're people who build you up, if they're people who have a positive and powerful message, you're going to feel so much better at the end of the day, compared to if you were to be following things that maybe make you feel self-conscious or that you're comparing yourself to, that doesn't leave you feeling more motivated and uplifted after. So I kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'm going to go even deeper on why you want to move in silence. So if you have goals you're going after, if there is something in your life that you want to level up and change, you don't always want to tell everybody this. When you share things too early, this can have a ripple effect in a couple different ways. There might be people who don't support this or who don't want to see you grow and do better than them, but there might also be an internal pressure of, oh my God, I said this to this person and now I need to follow through on it. And if I don't follow through on it, what are they going to think? And it can be this external validation that you're seeking or fueling internal dialogue that's not helpful of a past version of you. Like if you're someone who said you're going to do things a bunch of times and tell people for accountability and don't follow through, that's going to strengthen that internal self-talk, and that's not what we want to do. Change should feel good. It should be something that you're excited to do and something that you want to move closer towards, not giving this external pressure or validation or wanting approval from other people to do it. So I always say move in silence. If there's something you want to do for yourself, do it for you and start to get that foundation going before you ever share it to anybody else. This not only protects your energy and also helps you learn to validate yourself and not need the approval from other people. And the last and one of the most important things is acting now. If there's a goal that you want to go after, don't put it off. Procrastination is literally just a fear response. This is your brain's way of trying to protect you from fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of not following through. If there's a goal you want to go after or something that you want to do for yourself or change in your life, act now and don't procrastinate. If you go after a goal and you try something and it doesn't work, that's not a failure. That literally is just an opportunity to learn. Get comfortable with getting out of your comfort zone and trying and maybe having something not go right, because you can use that to change whatever approach it is that you're taking to be able to get there. For myself, I tried actually a couple businesses before I started coaching and nothing came of them, but that's okay because I knew I wanted to be more of an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to go do things on my own, and that's why I didn't give up just because it didn't work once or twice. If there's something that you want for yourself, go after it and don't have the fear hold you back, because it's literally just preventing you from having the life that you actually want. There's really nothing wrong with trying something and having it not go well. Anyone who's ever put themselves out of their comfort zone can tell you that it's a part of the process and it's actually a good thing. That's something that you should be celebrating, because that means you're learning and you're growing and you're doing something different. If there's something that you want to go after, don't wait and start doing it now. If you feel procrastination come in, give yourself the 2-minute rule of like, okay, I know I need to take X step forward. I'm going to give myself a minute, 2 minutes, and then I'm just going to get up and start doing it. Whatever it is, don't overthink it. Just take the first step forward, because that usually gets things in motion, and then it's easier to take the second step. There's literally no such thing as the perfect timing. You can try and perfect it and wait as long as you want, but the most important thing you can do if you have a goal you want to go after is just start doing it. If you've made it this far in the video, I hope that you found these things helpful and that you can see that it really isn't laziness, it's needing the tools. You need the clarity of what you want to do to go forward, you need the systems to be able to do it, and you need the confidence in yourself that you're capable of doing this and not let things like fear or perceived failure hold you back. Start with just taking one small step today. Maybe that step is just writing down what your goals are and just doing a full brain dump on it, and use that as a win. Every small step you take forward is a huge win, and it's getting you closer to whatever that goal is that you want for yourself and whatever that dream is. Like I said before, I put out new videos each week, so make sure to hit subscribe. If there's anything you want me to go deeper on or make another video on, please let me know in the comments. I always make sure to respond to every comment that I get. I would love to hear from you, and I hope to see you in the next one.